Hey everybody, it's Brian here. I'm awake. Are you? And guys, what a weekend it was. And more stuff is going on in this world pointing to the soon rapture of the church. And we're going to get right into it today. I got several things I could have looked at today, but I'm going to go back to a subject that we've been looking at quite often in this last few days because it's in the news every single day. And that is AI technology and the things that are being created by man right now that are being built by man for AI and what AI can do. It's literally scary. It's very scary. But I know the master plan. The master plan is the rapture of the church is going to happen before the tribulation time starts. And this is just another huge sign that the tribulation's right around the corner. So let's get into these articles, get into some scripture. And so here we go. We're going to start off with just this one article, but there's several things in this one article. And this is on, see here. This is on the End of the American Dream website. And the article is right here. 5 super creepy new technologies that should chill all of us to the core. And I'm going to go down all 5 of them. And the first one is scientists in China have been able to get AI models to create functioning replicas of themselves. Scientists say artificial intelligence has crossed a critical red line and has replicated itself. In a new study, researchers from China showed that 2 popular large language models could clone themselves. Successful self-replication under no human assistance is the essential step for AI to outsmart humans and is an eerily sign for rogue AIs, the researchers wrote in the study published December 9th, 2024. So AI can replicate itself without humans doing it. That's scary. You know, I've talked about this before in the past. The movies, they were telling us all along what they were doing. We thought it was great entertainment. You know, the Terminators, iRobot, these other movies, sci-fi movies we've seen over the decades. They're telling us exactly what they were doing all along behind the scenes, and now they're showing it to us. And now these artificial intelligent machines and this technology is going to be used to rule the world. What the Antichrist is going to use this system to force everyone to buy or sell with the mark, or they're not going to be able to eat or buy or sell. Technology is just off the charts. And I said this just last podcast. Daniel 12, knowledge will increase. Is it increasing? Oh, man, it's increasing so much. It's just, you can't keep up. But this technology, which could be used for good, and it is, some of this is being used for good, is going to be turned around and used against people during the tribulation to track them down, to arrest them and kill them for not taking the mark. And it's right here, right now, and it's been here for a while, and now they're perfecting it. So let's go to number 2. That was number 1 on the list. Let's see, here's number 2. Do you remember Operation Warp Speed? That was public and private partnership that was initiated during the first Trump administration, and we all know how that turned out. Now another public-private partnership that has been dubbed Stargate is supposed to greatly accelerate development of AI in the United States. We talked about this last week. It's been all over the news. Trump signed an executive order. They're going to spend $500 billion over the next few years to build an AI infrastructure in the United States. And I've read a little bit about this. Some of you know a little more about this than I do, but what I've read, these facilities that they're going to build to be able to put these things in for this information are going to be, one of them is going to be the size of a Central Park in New York, and even larger. And they're going to have to build, we don't have the infrastructure, the electricity to run these things, so they're going to build nuclear power plants to power these things. It's okay, let's just go on here. 3 top tech firms on Tuesday announced that they will create a new company called Stargate to grow artificial intelligence infrastructure in the United States. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, chairman Larry Ellison appeared at the White House Tuesday afternoon alongside President Donald Trump to announce the company, which Trump called the largest AI infrastructure in history. Initially, they will invest $100 billion, plans to pour up to $500 billion to Stargate in the coming years. What are they going to use this system for? Why is a push to use AI? All of a sudden, we got to. I know they say we need to keep up with China. We need to keep up with these other countries that have developed this. I understand that, but to this extent, you know why. Everybody, you know why. You know exactly why. Hey, folks, are we living in the last days? It seems like to me we're living in the last days. Is it just me? I know it's not just me. We are definitely in the last days before the rapture. That was number 2. Number 3, does creating artificial sun sound like a good idea? Unfortunately, the Chinese have actually created such a thing, and they just set a new record by running it for over 1,000 seconds. China's artificial sun reactor has broken its own world record for maintaining super hot plasma, marking another milestone in a long road towards near limitless clean energy. Yeah. Creating the sun on the earth, I don't think is a good idea. Does it, with these 3 I've just read, is there anything that possibly could go wrong with any of these 3? If one little thing goes wrong with any one of these 3, don't you think it could be kind of bad? The experimental advanced superconducting nuclear fusion reactor maintained a steady, highly confined loop of plasma for a little over 1,000 seconds. The old record was 403 seconds. Are nicknamed artificial suns because they are generating energy in a similar way to the sun by fusing 2 light atoms into a single heavy atom via heat and pressure. The sun has a lot more pressure than Earth's reactors, so scientists compensate by using temperatures that are many, many times hotter than the sun. It can't be good. It can't. And why are they doing this? For energy. You think there could be another reason behind this, that China's doing this? How about for world dominance? Yeah, clean energy. Okay, yeah. Number 4. Anyone that has watched Jurassic Park knows that bringing back ancient species that have gone extinct is really a bad idea. But now a company called Colossal Bioscience plans to do exactly that. Colossal Bioscience has raised $200 million in a new round of funding to bring back extinct species like the woolly mammoth. Dallas and Boston-based Colossal is making strides in scientific breakthrough towards de-extinction, or bringing back extinct species like the woolly mammoth. It says down here, I would be remiss if I didn't not mention this is the plot of Michael's novel Jurassic Park, where scientists use DNA found in mosquitoes preserved in amber, bring back the Tyrannosaurus Rex and other dinosaurs. I mean, that would go wrong when science fiction becomes reality. Yeah, you're out in the eastern Oregon elk hunting and elk season, and you see a 25-foot tall T-Rex eating an elk like a snack. There's a reason these things aren't around right now. There's a reason why they're not here. It's a good reason. They would be the predator. This is where technology's gotten. This is where it's going right now. This is what man is doing right now, mankind. And look at everything else that's going on in the world that's related to Bible prophecy. You got the Middle East, you got the weather, you got all this other stuff, social unrest, just all this stuff. And behind the scenes, these mad scientists, and they're literally mad scientists, are creating these things in the guise of helping humanity. You know what? I don't need your help. I got enough problems of my own. You don't have to help me making these things. Number 5, a whistleblower has told Joe Rogan that the U.S. military has mastered anti-gravity propulsion that is based on recovered alien technology. Joe Rogan voiced genuine fear after hearing whistleblower claims that U.S. military has mastered alien anti-gravity technology. Well, you know, if you've been following conspiracies for any length of time, you know they've had this for a while. You know, a lot of these things, these UFOs, UAVs, whatever you want to call them, are ours. Some are Nephilim craft, not extraterrestrials, but interdimensional demons that go from one dimension to another, that have taken forms of bodies of different creatures that have technology. They have technology. They've been around a long time. They're smart. And all this is being done to create the lie. What's the biggest lie that's ever going to be said? Why the church was raptured off the earth. The greatest lie ever will be told. That aliens, a mothership, beamed us away to another planet to reprogram us, whatever you want to say. I get it, okay? And now we're gone, and now the utopia that the world's been trying to bring in, but those crazy Christians, we couldn't do it when they were here, and now they're gone. We can finally do what we've always wanted to do, and we can make the world a better place. We can build back better because they're gone. They are in for a huge shock when we are raptured. Not just the rapture, but what comes after that. The tribulation is going to take everybody by surprise because sudden destruction is going to come upon them when the rapture hits and then when the tribulation starts. We will be up in heaven, Revelation chapter 4 and chapter 5, worshiping before God's throne, watching Jesus open the scrolls that starts the tribulation, worshiping, casting our crowns at his feet in worship with all the angels and all the believers in God's throne room. What a room that is. Wow. All this is pointing to that. All this is yelling at all this I just read should wake up every born-again believer that sees it and hears it and say, my goodness, we are the last generation. And here's why I think that. Let's go to the Bible here. Genesis chapter 6, starting at verse 1. Now it came about when men began to multiply on the face of the land and daughters were born to them, that the sons of God saw that the daughters of men were beautiful. They took wives for themselves whomever they chose. Then the Lord said, my spirit shall not strive with man forever because he also is flesh. Nevertheless, his days shall be 120 years. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days and also afterward, when the sons of men came into the daughters of men, and they bore children to them. Those were the mighty men who were of old, men of renown. So, you got demons, Nephilim, just call them demons, taking forms of bodies, having sex with women on the earth who created the Nephilim, the giants. They weren't just tall, they were intelligent. And it says they were during the flood and after the flood. Are they here now? Yeah, they're here now. They're hiding. God has not allowed them to come out in public except for here and there once in a while. You can go on YouTube and like the giants of Kandahar in Afghanistan. You could look that up. Things like that. When we're gone, all the restrictions that God's put on are gone. These things are going to come out of the woodwork. They're out there now. You got all these creatures and these demonic-looking aliens. All this stuff is just waiting to come out in the public, but God has not allowed it yet. But when we're gone, we're seeing a little bit of that on TV right now with the UFOs and some of the videos of certain things. I get that. That's coming, but they're going to come out in masses when we're gone. And that's about to happen. Where do you think this technology is coming from that we're developing? Look at where we've gone in the last 100 years in technology. The beginning of the 20th century, say 1901, let's say 1901. Now we're 2025. A little over 100 years, 124 years, whatever it is. Don't you think we've had some help to get this technology where we are now? It's off the charts. We've had a little bit of help with our technology over the years. It's not just man's invented things. Behind the scenes in these governments, the governments have had help with technology. What our governments have as technology and what we see on the shelf is 50 years behind what the governments got. The governments got. This is where we are, living in the last days. Daniel 12, knowledge will increase, men will go to and fro. This is where we are. We are the generation that's going to see the return of our Lord. Everything is pointing to that. Everything. You just can't miss it. It's right in our face. Let's go to Genesis 11, and I'll finish with this this right here. This is Genesis 11 about the Tower of Babel. And they're building this huge tower in the city, in this plain, and all the peoples of the earth at the time speak the same language. And they want to build this tower up into heaven. They want to be God. And so let's just read, starting at verse 4. They said, "Come, let us build for ourselves a city, a tower, whose top will reach into heaven, and let us make for ourselves a name. Otherwise we will be scattered abroad over the face of the earth." The Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the sons of men had built. The Lord said, "Behold, they are one people, and they all have the same language." And this is what they began to do. And now nothing which they purpose to do will be impossible for them. I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. If God didn't come down at the Tower of Babel and confuse the languages, you and I would not be alive today, in my opinion. We would have got the atom bomb 1,000 years ago. God says, man working together, there's nothing impossible. Now the language barrier has been broken with our phones, computers. I mean, on your iPhone, you can hear somebody talk a different language and it shows you exactly what they're saying right on your iPhones. There's no language barrier anymore. And technology is off the charts. They're talking about having cures for cancer coming out in the next year or two for all cancers because of AI. When man research has done, it hits a wall. AI can go through that wall, and it's unbelievable what AI is going to do. Too bad man is so corrupt because he's going to use it for evil purposes. But AI is off the charts right now, and we are at the Tower of Babel right now. I believe we're living in the era of the Tower of Babel. I believe we're living in the era of right before Noah's flood. I believe we're living in the era right before Sodom and Gomorrah. That's where we are right now. And we're doing our jobs. We have our families. We're spread all over this planet, all of the believers here, just trying to get through the day. But behind the scenes, in heaven, God is orchestrating everything exactly according to his plan. And soon the plan will go into full force and the rapture will happen and set all this into motion. And if God hadn't come down at Tower of Babel, man would have destroyed itself. And we are at the time of the Tower of Babel right now. And then one last passage here. This is, come on, Brian. Third person, Brian. Here we go. Here we go. I love this passage. This is Isaiah 26:19. Saying all that, this is a great passage for the rapture and the tribulation. I've read it many times before, but we're going to finish with this. This is Isaiah 26:19. Your dead will live, their corpses will rise. You who lie in the dust, awake and shout for joy, for your dew is the dew of the dawn, and the earth will give birth to the departed spirits. Come, my people, enter into your rooms and close your doors behind you. Hide for a little while until the indignation runs its course. For behold, the Lord is about to come out from his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for the iniquity, and the earth will reveal her bloodshed and will no longer cover her slain. I have goosebumps. You see what it's saying here? It's giving an order how things are going to happen. Your dead will live. What's that sound like? Their corpses will rise. Those who lie in the dust will wake for joy. This isn't the resurrection of the unsaved dead. This is the resurrection of believers. For the dew is as the dew of the dawn, and the earth will give birth to the departed spirits. And then it says, come, my people. If you're a born-again believer and you have Jesus in your heart, you're his people. Come, my people, enter into your rooms and close the doors behind you. He's going to take us into heaven, close the door behind us. We're going to be at the throne of God. We're going to be home, and our home, a real home. Close doors behind you for a little while. Until when? Until the indignation runs its course. How long is that? 7 years. For behold, what's going to happen during those 7 years? For behold, the Lord is about to come out from his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for the iniquity, and the earth will reveal her bloodshed and no longer cover her slain. Rapture, we're in heaven, tribulation. All in right there. That's what's coming. The Lord is coming for his church. Saints, this could be the day. If you don't know Jesus, you need to ask him in your heart right now. He died, buried, and rose again on the third day. His blood, his body, his sacrifice that we talk about all the time on all the different channels. That's the only way to heaven. You need to believe it. You need to have faith and believe that he did it for you, that you're a sinner and he paid for your sins. Not going to church, not going up to a Christian home, not giving money to the poor. That's not going to get you. You know where that's going to get you? That's going to get you to hell. Only believing in Jesus. What he did on that cross will get you to heaven. No one comes to the Father but by him. No one. And you better do it quick because time's running out. We're almost home. Saints, if I don't see you before, I'll see you in the clouds. This is your brother Brian out. Bye-bye.